Hello guys and welcome back to the Traitors US, and today we're going to be talking about episode 4. If you remember in the last episode, Kate dropped a note, Stephanie found the note, and now she's convinced that Kate is a traitor. How will the note play out? Who is going to get banished? And who, most importantly, got murdered last night? Stick around to find out. Or if you've already seen it, you know what's going on, so I don't know, enjoy the video or something. So guys, we are well on our way to 600 by the end of Feb. We're currently on 567, I think. Yeah, we're doing well. Very, very, very good. So thank you guys. Keep up the hard work. You guys are fantastic. Some of the best supporters. And yep, I'm really, really enjoying making these videos for you guys. So if you guys are enjoying, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. Leave all your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Subscribe, get me up to 600, and then we can just keep building, enjoying the reality shows. And yeah, let's get on with the video. So in Traitors Tower, Sari decided to bring up the note that Kate wrote, and they thought that they could use this to their advantage and try and frame Kate. Now, I personally think this is the smartest decision. You've already got two people who people are very, very suspicious of. You've got Michael and you've got Kate. The best thing you can do, because Michael is going to go the next day regardless because people are suspicious of him, and I think it would just be smart if they decided to pin it on Kate and then pin it on Michael. I think that would be the smartest decision because you've got a lot of different factors to think about. Kate is going one way or another, but get her out sooner rather than later because she's on to you guys. She's friends with Brandy. Brandy's clearly told her who she thinks are the traitors. So it would just be smart to get rid of her, and I don't think that they're necessarily... I don't think they're thinking about the long game here, which is really, really frustrating. And what's also frustrating is that bloody bit of hair. Anyway, back to it. So the decision came down to, should we kill Shelby and not Angelica? Was it Angelica or was it Amanda? Oh, physically can't remember. I think it was Shelby and Amanda. And then they were like, oh, should we look at other names? What about Azra? Because Azra spoke up around the round table and was like, because Kyle was basically like, there are people who have been really, really quiet. Maybe we should be looking at them. And Azra was like, I'm quiet because there's a lot of domineering personalities here, and I don't always want to speak up. I'm just sitting back and letting everything sink in so I can make an informed decision. I was like, fair enough. That's chill. But they brought up killing Azra because then it could pin the blame on Kyle a little bit. I think this is the weakest of the three to kill, personally. I think go for someone that Kate was gunning for because... Or is on Kate's note so that they can frame her and get her out of the game. It's just frustrating to watch them come up with all these ridiculous, stupid ideas and then not follow through with them. So breakfast rolled around. Michael was basically saying, I need evidence on someone else, otherwise I'm out today. And yeah, bless him. It's tough because this is like the third day in a row where people have been very, very suspicious of him. Stephanie is certain that Kate is a traitor. And then it essentially came down to Shelby versus Azra. I really, really thought Azra was going to walk back in, but Shelby was the one that walked back in, meaning Azra had been killed. It's an interesting choice, to say the least, because I just feel like they missed the opportunity to frame Kate, and I don't know, I feel like that was a real missed opportunity, and it kind of sucks they didn't take that. Yeah, it feels like they were hyping it up so much at the end of last episode, and then they just didn't do anything with it at the end of this episode, so like, yeah, bit of a tough one indeed, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, Azra had to go. I feel like the problem with this series is that I don't feel like I'm getting to know many people very well. And that's a problem for me because I'm watching it and these people are going home like Bam and now Azra, and I don't feel connected to them. So when they get killed, I don't feel that attachment to them. Like if you look at UK season 2, when the three options were I can't even remember off the top of my head. I remember there was one where it was Diane, Tracy, and Charlotte, and I liked all three of them. So it was like a real like, oh damn it, who are they gonna get rid of? I don't want them to get rid of any of them. Like, oh, surely you could pick somebody else. But then obviously that added in like this sort of emotional factor, whereas I don't feel emotional about the majority of people in this game because I don't know any of them that well. Because, and this is also the problem with having reality stars on it, is that the show tends to focus more on them than on the normal people because they're more of an interesting personality to show on TV. But that's just my opinion. That's just how I see things. So it is what it is. The suspicions after the breakfast table. Christian, like everyone was in one massive big group, and Christian was like, let's split up into smaller groups so that we can actually talk strategy. Because when we're in a big group, there's probably some traitors here. He worked it out so that at least one of the traitors was in every single group, which I thought was really smart. I thought that was a really, really good plan. And Sari was talking to Kate, and she was like, why do you think that Michael's a traitor? Because I really don't think he is. I think she was trying to lull Kate into a false sense of security to really get her to speak. But Kate was kind of like, I just think it's him. And then Sari was like, what are the reasons? Why is everyone actually so suspicious of Michael? Is it just because he was gunning so hard on the first day for Geraldine? Is that the reason? Because, like, that's not a very good reason to go on. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit naff. Elsewhere, Steph was showing the note to people, as was Sari, or was at least mentioning the note to people. Kyle ended up with the note, which I found very interesting, and essentially the whole room pretty much now knows about the note, but Kate doesn't know that they know about the note, so bit awkward there, I guess. This note is really such a fascinating part of the series because it's so misleading, because she's obviously faithful, but it's so misleading, and it's leading them down a garden path that the traitors are almost like, yes, do it, yes. So it is quite funny, and yeah, I am really enjoying the sort of drama behind it. Even though they missed the opportunity to really frame Kate, they're still using the note in some way, shape, or form. The mission, I'm going to be really brief about it. I don't really want to talk about the mission for very long. It was the same one in UK Season 1 in which they go on the, like, Ferris wheel, they get strapped in, they get turned around, they have to vote for who they think is the weakest link or something like that. I don't know, whatever. Who's could eat the most hot dogs in a minute? It's just stupid questions, and then there are some good ones scattered around. Bless her. Andy is very, very scared of these kind of rides because apparently she had a horrific experience when she was younger where she almost fell out of one and her brother saved her. Honestly, I'd be freaked out as well. Like, no, not good. But yeah, on the whole, an interesting one. People voted Kate for the person who lies the most, which is fair enough. She was very shocked by that. She was like, what the fuck? But obviously she doesn't know that everyone knows about the fucking note. Tough times. Michael, when he was up on the wheel, he got voted for pretty much everything, and he kind of took it on the chin. He voted for himself for everything as well. So they ended up raising £19,900 out of a total 22,000. They fucking smashed it. I'll be honest. They did really, really well. Didn't learn a great deal about anything other than sort of the castle is kind of dead set on it being Kate or Michael. So I don't know. There's not really much to go on other than that. But yeah, it was an alright trial or mission. It just is what it is. Do you know what I mean? So we have some suspicions before we head into the round table. Michael was basically saying that he feels defeated. He kind of wants to get banished or murdered just to see the look on people's faces when he announces that he's a faithful, which I thought was actually, I mean, fair enough. I'd probably want to do that. If I was constantly being, like, hounded as a traitor, then I'd want to be like, well, I know I'm faithful, so fuck it. Let me just go out and look at all your faces when you realize you're wrong. And yeah, I got to appreciate that from him. Elsewhere, Kyle was saying that he thinks that there's a strong female in charge of the Traitors, or at least in the Traitors, and he thinks it's one of the reality bunch. He doesn't know how right he is, which is a little bit scary. And Sari was obviously hearing her name when he was talking about this and was like, this isn't good at all. This is not good. So yeah, I feel like Kyle was onto something, but he's so blinded by Michael that I don't think he's going to act on it anytime soon. So yeah, for now, Sari, you're safe. You're all good. I wouldn't stress too much. But we move on to the round table. The round tables in the US version, I just want to talk about the structure of them and how they're not as entertaining. I don't remember them doing it on the Australian version, and they definitely don't do it on the UK version, but I don't understand why they have confessionals halfway, like, during the trial. The trial in the UK version, and even to an extent in the the Australian version, feels very oppressive because it's just like 10, sometimes even 15 minutes of just people arguing with each other. There's no breaks. It's just bam, 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 bam. Whereas the US version, it kind of breaks it up with people's thoughts, and it kind of ruins it a little bit. I could be chatting absolute shit, but I don't remember this happening during UK 2. It might have happened during UK 1, but during UK 2, I know that the round tables were like from start to finish, uninterrupted. Probably edited, but uninterrupted by anything other than the round table. And I think that's what made it so gripping and so hooking. Whereas everything goes so fast in these round tables that I lose track and I lose it. Also, they're so short. They're so short. They get about 2 points in and then it's like, it's time to vote. It's like, what? Are we not... Like, and I think this is also a problem with the US version, is that the UK version is an hour long, whereas the US one is bound by adverts on an adverted channel. I think it's on CBS, Peacock, whatever Peacock is. It's bound by adverts essentially, so it's got to be 45 minutes, which sucks because we missed 15 minutes of game playing strategy and other interesting things, and the missions take up too much time. In an hour episode, it's fine for the trial to be like 10-15 minutes. In a 45-minute episode, that's taking the piss. That's taking the absolute piss. Okay, actually onto the round table now. Amanda started by bringing up the note, and Stephanie was like, look, Kate, what's the sitch with this note? I felt like Kate explained it very, very well. She was like, look, this note was something that me and Brandy wrote as a list of potential victims we thought would get murdered. We thought Shelby would be next, and then we thought Amanda would go afterwards because they're trying to pick off chaotic people to be like, why have they picked this person? So that's why we did that. Honestly, I think she kind of convinced people. It was a good excuse, I thought. And the fact that it was her and Brandy kind of reinforced the fact that, okay, maybe this isn't a kill list. This isn't like anything suspicious. It was a little bit of a shame that it went away so quickly, but either way, it was still a very, very entertaining part of the trial, and it started it off very, very well. Quentin backed Michael. He was like, look, I think that Michael is faithful. I think he's a traitor. No, I think Kate's a traitor. So I feel like we should be looking in that direction. That's where we've got to look, in Kate's direction, because she's blaming Michael. I don't think Michael is a traitor. He's just not. And then Michael was like, oh, Quentin, I'm so eternally grateful. Thank you so much for standing up for me, etc., etc., etc. And then Kyle goes, oi, Michael, weren't you just saying that you thought Quentin was a traitor outside the room? And I was like, Kyle, you scumbag. That was not a very nice thing to do. This man is already fighting for his life, and you just drop him in it like that with Quentin. Flipping heck, that's not very nice. That's not very fair. Michael did explain it away. He was like, yeah, I'm very grateful that he stood up for me, but like that doesn't stop me from thinking he's a traitor. because like he's very well spoken, he's very articulate, and I thought that before he started defending me. So like, what's going on? What's going on, Kyle? Kyle was like, oh, I think we're focusing on the wrong things. I think we need to be focusing on Michael. And I was just like, oh, it's just a long day because all you're doing is just yapping on about how you think it's Michael. You've got no other suspicions. You're blinded. You're blinkered by one person who has survived 2 trials. 2 faithfuls have been voted out, yes. But just because 2 faithfuls have been voted out doesn't make him a traitor. It doesn't confirm anything. It's a ridiculous notion. And then Kate was like, look, if Michael is wrong, I'm willing to take the fall for that because I have been leading this charge. But like, there's not like, I just believe he's a traitor. That's all there is to it. I'm sorry. So we come to voting time. Voting time, again, especially in the US version, is always a little bit surprising and always catches me a little bit off guard. Rachel voted for Michael. Quentin voted for Kate. Sari voted for Kate. Amanda voted for Michael. Kate voted for Michael. Andy voted for Michael. Ari voted for Michael. Christian voted for Kate. Michael voted for Kate. Cody voted for Michael. Shelby voted for Michael. Angelica voted for Michael. Ryan voted for Michael. Steph voted for Michael. Kyle voted for Michael. So Michael with 11 votes. Kate had 4. 2 of which were traitors, which I think is very, very interesting. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because I think he got up there and he was like, he was actually very, very funny. He got up there and he was like, Kate, you'll be pleased to know that you were, and everyone started cheering. They were like, yes, yes. I was a faithful, and then everyone was like, no. It genuinely was the funniest thing I think I've seen in a long time because everyone was so certain it was him and he kind of led them down the garden path themselves, got them to celebrate and then crushed them. And I think that was the perfect thing. I also really appreciated the fact that people got up to hug him and say goodbye. Not many people do that, and I did appreciate that in the moment. I thought it was very powerful and it was very moving. Michael deserved better in this game, if I'm being 100% honest. He made a poor decision at the start, and it kind of fucked him over for the rest of the game. But it is what it is. The game's the game. You play or you lose. Do you know what I mean? So afterwards, people were like, oh, I think Kyle might be a traitor because he was defending Kate, and obviously Kate's now a traitor. They're so ridiculously just... it's tough, it's tough. I like the way that no one has even brought up the fact that Christian was going around being like, oh, it's Geraldine, right? We're voting for Geraldine, right? We're voting for Geraldine. So people just forget like key bits of information. It's so, like, I would have a notebook and I'd be making notes. Well, if you're allowed to make notes, I'd be keeping notes on me all the time. I wouldn't be keeping them in my skirt where they could fall out. They'd be in my trouser pocket. They would be in my, if I was wearing a blazer, they'd be in my blazer pocket. They would be somewhere where it's not going to fall out. Yeah, tough times ahead, definitely. So, in Traitor Tower, we had a very interesting end to the episode. The Faithfuls are slowly figuring out the plan. I think it was Cody was like, Ari literally said the exact reason why we killed off Azra, and now I'm getting worried. We need to switch it up, we need to change it, and we need to start fighting back a little bit. So, Sari brought up the fact that they should kill off Kyle because there's a lot of distrust in Kyle at the moment, and killing off someone that is suspicious could be a good move because the traitors are being accused of killing off people or keeping the people around who are suspicious to make them look less suspicious, and they need a change in the gameplay. They need to switch it up. They need to change it. And then Sari was like, oh, well, Kyle did say that there was a strong woman behind the traitors and he was bringing up my name, so maybe we should get rid of him. And then she was like, oh, what about Ryan? And Cody was like, I don't think Ryan. And that's when Sari accused him of having like a friendship with Ryan outside of the game. And Cody was like, I've never seen him before in my life. And she was like, then let's kill him. Let's take him out of the game. If you claim that you've got nothing to do with him outside of the game, let's kill him off. Let's remove him from the game. Because she's been noticing that those two are getting quite close, and she doesn't want that to become a problem when they need to make difficult decisions. And she's been very passive in this game so far, going with whatever they decided, but she said she's getting her way tonight. So it's between Kyle or Ryan. I think it'd be interesting to see Ryan go, purely because it means that, I don't know, it means that there's a little bit of distrust in the traitors, and I'm excited to see that. But that is the end of our episode. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And honestly, this season is shaping up to be a little bit more interesting than I initially thought it would. It sucks that the missions are the same as UK1, and I'm assuming US2 will be the same as UK2. But I do think that the game itself is very fascinating in this version. It's very, very interesting. And I can't quite be as angry at the Faithfuls for not picking up on the traitors, because the traitors aren't being obvious with their moves, unlike fucking Sam kicking out Ash episode 3. Yawn. So yeah, I think this has got a lot of longevity in it. We've got 6 episodes left after this one, so I'm excited. I'm very, very excited to see how they get on. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all them YouTube things that you guys do so well, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Keep on ranting. Bye now.